Reality.
UFOs.
Science.
Consciousness.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm the Candyman, and for those of you who don't know me from my YouTube channel, welcome to the podcast. That might not be a real thing. The podcast that makes you question everything. Anyway, I'm here with my co-hosts Danny D and Macca, and we want to go around the room real quick, round the horn, and tell you a little bit about ourselves, what we're going to be doing this year on the show, things that we're interested in, stuff we're going to steer clear of, etc., and I'll just kind of give you a quick snapshot of what to expect. So just me starting out, I'm a father, lover, fighter, gamer, scientist, and I teach people how to grow marijuana at home so that they can have their own gardens and be up and running and self-sufficient. And, we wanted to spread that knowledge and give it to as many people as possible. So that's what I do. And I'm going to hand it right over to my main man, Danny D.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danny D. I am a professional sculptor, restoration artist, mold maker. I'm happily married with 4 little kids. And I have a vasectomy now, so no longer can have kids. My interests include horror movies, props. I like gothic and metal fashion, accessories, rock and roll of all kinds, the unknown, and just a massive group of diverse and weird topics. I love long hair. I have a rare heart disease. I have a pacemaker defibrillator, and I've died 4 times in 2020. But I didn't cross over, as far as I know. Sean?
Wow. Wow. That's hard to follow. I am and do a lot of things, but you'll know me as Macca, but I am a sociologist by trade. I have a deep to surface level understanding of everything that's going on in American society. And because of that, I thrive in situations where I'm both creating and participating in things that people do together in groups. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's the area of where I studied and now where I live at and where I know what I know. So, that's things like music, food, conversation and dialogue like this. I'm basically an explorer of music, like a Magellan type. And because of that, I can curate music for any mood.
Wait a second. It's hip-hop, though, right?
Any mood, Dan.
Hip-hop, though?
No.
Because me and Chris, we like heavy metal and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can do it.
I like all types of music.
I'm wearing an AC/DC shirt right now, and Chris is wearing a Kiss shirt. So
those are the facts.
And we didn't coordinate.
Right. You guys live... Yeah, I mean, that's what you guys are all about, and I can make a playlist for both of you.
I like hip-hop.
Wait, no country though, right?
I guess
banned
you're
it
right.
for my wedding.
Let me reverse. There is no country in my discovery, my search.
Yeah, the only country I like is Wheeler Walker Jr.
Yeah, I kind of like some. Who's that dude? The whiskey dude. I like that dude.
I like old school.
Talking about
Willie Nelson and
Toby
stuff.
Keith.
No, not Toby Keith.
Sings Whiskey Girl.
No, it's his Chris Templeton.
She's
or
my
something
little
like
whiskey girl.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not something I enjoy. But it's the other one. It's more like a southern rock feel, so I can get down with that stuff. But like pop country is not what I like.
Can we I just want to give a disclaimer for this podcast. If you're like a boomer, somebody that's been very interested in this podcast lately, don't get excited about it because we're probably going to talk about things that you're not going to want to hear. If you don't like vulgarity, if you don't like us telling the truth about things, if you don't like just really morbid stuff and scary stuff that we say, I don't think you should listen to it.
Right.
I visited with my parents last night.
There we go.
And they're aware that, we're starting a podcast. And I said, I don't think it's a good idea for you guys to listen to it.
No, it's not. Well, I saw a couple people when I posted some preview photos. I saw a couple people, like Sean said, so a couple people that just said, "Oh, I'm so excited. When's this coming out?" And I could just tell, maybe it's not for you. I didn't want to say it, but like,
We're not
maybe
trying-
you're not going to want to hear about goats fucking their kids, stuff like that.
Man, I don't know if we led with that, but
Well, we didn't lead with that, but I mean, it's a possible topic on the podcast that we already kind
yes, we have recorded some
something about
content
that.
previously that will be aired with something along those lines. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so staying on task, we're going to have a couple of topics that are reoccurring on the show as the intro suggests, because those are the things that we're primarily interested in on my end, 100%. Okay, so what to expect from me? First of all, this whole show is about spreading positivity. Okay, and I know said we were going to talk about it, Macca. What are we not talking about?
Well, I think that we've been thinking about what we want this podcast to be, and for us and our friends and other people who listen, and we don't want to talk about the high level things that are going on in our country, like COVID,
negative shit,
specifically negative, but or anything that would draw an argument. We want to be an escape for that. So
I will certainly be negative, but there won't be any nuanced conversation about
Right.
COVID or race
politics,
relations or anything like that.
race.
Not from me, at least. I mean, I don't think you guys either.
right,
we're
we
trying
want
to be a positive place.
we want to have a place where we can come together and talk about shit, and it's an escape from that for a little while, for an hour and a half, that we can get away from it and shut it off.
I
And
think
that's what we
we have
want.
good lives.
Yeah,
We're interesting.
right. So I think that's what our promotion will be: escape from, all the shit that's happening, in those specific areas that are in our face all day long. We want to give an hour to escape from that, for us and for everyone. So that's what we're
And talk about cool shit we like.
exactly.
Yeah.
that.
So as far as that's concerned, my main topics that basically bounce around my brain nonstop all day long is this is a pickle. Scientists have been looking at this one for a long time, and we're starting to get a good picture of it. But I want to know what the nature of reality is. Okay, you got a lot of different things coming out this year. Like, the people are starting to catch wind of, like, multiple universe theory, or just different understandings of space time in general, string theory, all these other things that basically try to understand what is the fabric of existence, because I'm huge into trying to figure that out. And what goes along with that is, what is the purpose of life, and what happens when you die? What is death? And what happens afterwards? And
I said before I died 4 times in 2020, and I wasn't joking. My heart stopped 4 times. The first time it happened in my sleep, I had really weird, vivid dreams. And I have really weird dreams. I actually want to talk about my dreams at some point.
Well,
because I have
you have an
dreams
open
that are so
forum to do it.
crazy that, like, I'll wake up cracking up because of how ridiculous they are. Like some kid walking over with a big bucket of, like, deflated basketballs and dropping them at my feet. Like, what does that mean? Or, like, trying to make myself puke in my sleep. Like, bleh, bleh.
saying that you're having a dream, seeing yourself trying to throw up,
No.
but
I'm
nothing
trying
will
to do it in
come
my
out.
dream, like, get something out.
But nothing will
But in
happen.
real life, my wife's like, Dan, you're trying to puke.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to make myself puke.
That's like when you have a dream that you're peeing and you wake up and you've wet your pants.
Yeah.
Except vomit.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
That seems,
Yeah, so anyways, I had weird dreams, but I didn't experience a light at the tunnel, but I'm curious, though.
yeah.
Well, that's an evolution of dreams, I think, because I've only ever heard of someone peeing in their dreams and then peeing themselves.
I think it's pretty advanced.
But yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
If you're puking in your dreams and puking,
Yeah.
that is.
There was a lot of weird shit in that dream, though. I had a woman come up to me and say, how do I make my nails red? And the doctor came over with a scalpel and cut her finger and then smeared it all over her nails.
Yeah,
That's a dream I have.
All right.
So I don't know what they mean.
I don't want to get stuck on that. 'Cause
All right,
I'm
well, we'll get stuck on dreams, but
I'm still trying to focus on.
I'm messed up. That's
I'm still
what it
trying to
is.
focus on what my
Go ahead.
my topics of the show are going to be on. But
Go ahead.
real quick, you've never heard of any dreams except pee-pee dreams?
well, no, I'm saying
Because I'll tell you right now, if you can ejaculate in your sleep while having sex in your dream.
You can
And
do it.
I've had it happen on a rare, pleasurable 20 occasions. And I got to tell you, I wake up with my heart beating.
Yeah, right.
My balls,
Forgot about that.
balls are empty, and I feel like I just had sex. Like, no, indistinguishable from reality. If there was a way that I could go to bed every night and guarantee that would be the outcome, you bet your boots I would do it. But anyway, getting back to my topics, and then I'll pass it back over to Danny D. I'm interested in all science. Okay, I love the study of all things. That's what science is, okay, people? It's the study of something. It's an ology, biology. Sometimes it's a
scientific method.
Chemistry, right? Physics doesn't have an E or an iology, but that's a big one.
Physicsology.
Physicsology. Well, everything is physics essentially, but biology is just chemistry, and chemistry is just physics. But not to get too into that, it's true. I'm into sciences. I'm big into life and death. I'm into martial arts. I love science fiction. Why wouldn't I? I love science, right? And that's potentially like what could happen in the future. So huge Star Wars fan, big Trekkie. That's Star Trek for any of you losers who don't know what that means.
Losers.
Yeah, you losers who don't watch Star Trek.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I'm a fucking idiot. The way I've often described myself to people is that I'm a nerd trapped in a cool guy's body. All right, so like I used to have the Harley, and I usually have a cool car, and I've got tattoos, and I'm like good at martial arts, and I smoke weed and teach people how to grow weed and all this cool stuff. But really, what I'm into is playing video games and watching science fiction. I'm a hardcore gamer. Shout out to all the greasy fingers out there. That's my clan on. That's my PUBG. That's my PUBG team. And shout out to all my other gamer friends who are not clanned up. Just that we run with free agents. Right.
Missionaries.
Yeah. Shout out specifically Suffocating Hate, Howlin' James, JJ, Brian. I don't know who else. Who else should I mention? Who's important? I haven't played with you in a long time, Beebs, but I miss you, BB. Anyway, that's me, guys. I'm going to hand you over to Danny D. We're going to talk about him and what he's going to bring to the show, which you don't have to get right into it. You can talk about other stuff first, but Bizarre Beyond Belief is going to
so I played football in high school, and I was hit in the head really hard by a guy we went to high school with who actually tried to call tonight. And ever since then, I've...
who just had a baby?
I think I was weird before that, but everybody always says I got weirder after that. So I've always been into, different things. I mean, I started my career off doing, teaching myself how to do special makeup effects for films and stuff, even though I never really worked on films. And basically, I consider myself a costume expert in props and masks and all that kind of stuff. And so what I'm trying to say is that things like the Patterson, Gimlin, Bigfoot footage and things like that, I think I bring a different perspective. I can look at them and be like, wait, that's not a costume from the 60s. That doesn't exist. I knew every costume that exists, gorilla costume from then. But anyways, for my segment, I just really want to talk about UFOs and news and UFOs and weird stuff that comes out. Talk about Bigfoot, Yeti, Orang Pendek. Talk about all sorts of cryptozoology and crop circles and just tie it in with what Chris says about. Chris wants to learn about the universe, and I want to learn about. I kind of think of pondering what is out there in an infinite universe. There's got to be everything, and I think they're visiting us right now, and I think that's something that we need to cover.
We are going to cover it.
Oh, we will.
The Vulcans say infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're saying.
Yes. I think everything exists out there.
I want to back up.
Which is scary because there could be malicious Independence Day type aliens.
You led into your bit that you're weird and that you got a headshot. You took a blow to the head in high school.
Yeah, hard.
If memory serves, I just want to get the facts. You caught a whirlybird with double J at the top, right? Is that what happened?
I was a wingback, scout offense, so that means the defense. All these big dudes were beating up on us.
Double hit though, right? One on the bottom, one on the top. That's a whirlybird.
No, I got one hit from him.
Just a plow. That's enough. You don't need any more.
Oh, I was 120 pounds, 5'5", and he was like 240, like 6'7", so...
I don't know if he was 240. He was pretty...
220 maybe? I don't know. He's a big guy.
He was big, but I'm saying he was lean back then.
Okay, he was leaner back then.
Probably 240.
He was real mean, too.
Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, so bizarre beyond belief.
Bizarre beyond belief.
Yetis.
Bigfoot. Conspiracies. Yes, I like conspiracies.
Dan wanted Bigfoot to be part of the title intro, but I just couldn't get behind it enough to be that big of a part of our show that's what we were going to have.
I think there's a lot of good evidence behind Bigfoot. I think
we're going to find out more about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
we'll tell you more about it. I mean, that's one of my expertise for the weird, I think, is Bigfoot. I know every player in the game. I mean, the stories that are behind even the hoaxes are just as good as, like, whether it's real or not. Like, the stories are amazing. So
and the people that
yeah,
that are into it too.
The people that are into it are great. Yeah, Joe Rogan said they're a bunch of unfuckable white guys. That's what he said. Bunch of unfuckable white guys in the woods looking for Bigfoot.
That's his name, Bobo.
That's
Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo Fett.
These are the players in the game.
Now too.
These are the players in the game that you discussed.
Yes.
And you're saying that these guys are the best in the field, and the qualifications are that they're unfuckable white guys.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are. There's some guys like Jeff Meldrum, who's the Idaho State University anthropology expert. He's like tenured professor. He studies human locomotion. And that's why a lot of people think Bigfoot is real, because he studied the main footage and been like, that's not a human gait. So that's one of the big reasons, I think.
Gait, and you mean the
like the way
stance,
like
distance
humans,
of their feet?
The gait. Humans have a non-compliant gait, it's called.
The way they stand?
Like the way the knees bend and stuff. And like the way, like when we walk, we lock our knees. And this thing was walking completely fluid without ever locking its knees straight. Just bent at an angle. And it was like, wasn't like walking like it had to take a shit like we would if we did that. And there's a lot of other things too. The so-called costume has boobies, and like now that we can zoom in and stabilize it, we see things that they never would have thought we'd seen back in the 60s.
Two
eight? Big mammary glands, big hairy.
So
yeah. So
bipedal.
Yes.
Ape-like, like us.
Yep.
Breasts. Right.
Yep. There's actually a Latin name for Bigfoot now too, and everything. It's in some of the North American guidebooks.
Do you know it off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's Gigantopithecus americana, something like that. Like
great white sharks, what? Cacarius, Cacaricodon?
Cacarius. No, Cacarodon Cacarius. And then the big one is Cacarodon megalodon.
Yeah, deal with that, Macca. We're throwing out names.
Yeah,
all right.
Ask me another animal, I'll do it.
Well, let's let Macca give his segment, and then
ahead.
we'll dive into some pay it forward stuff and some other things.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that I'm one of the best smelling big men in America, and I also have the smoothest, softest hands this side of the Mason-Dixon line.
Facts.
But I think really what I'm interested in is really questioning Dan D and Candyman on their stories of science and
Your so-called theories.
Their so-called
well, we talk about
theories.
science and Bigfoot in the same sentence, so I mean, you might want to question it.
So I think that's what I'll be constantly doing. I know nothing of Star Trek and some of the things they enjoy, so it'll be a learning opportunity for me. But also, I have to ask if things are real because these two are amazing storytellers, and they talk a lot about things that may or may not exist. So
might not be a real thing.
Which vets or nothing.
Bugs and things.
Yeah. So I think
that's what it is, right? Yep.
I think I'm the balance beam here to the madness.
He's gonna call us on our bullshit.
It might not be bullshit, though.
It might not be bullshit, but I mean, you come from a more stable kind of mindset,
right?
I'd like to.
Me and Chris have been called eccentric and different.
We're outliers.
We're outliers, yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm a greaser from the 50s inside.
Yeah, I'm a 500-year-old vampire that was born in Russia, and they called me the Black Thief of the thief of the Black Forest.
What are you stealing?
I stole people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't kill anybody that was like. I didn't hunt them down just if they crossed my path.
That was
a bad luck day for them.
It immediately was the first thought I thought of after I asked the question was, what is he stealing? Must be people.
People. Yeah, and now I live like a normal human American.
Yeah, and did you
relatively
Did you live in the Black
respectful
Forest?
citizen.
Did you
No,
live
no. I had a mausoleum.
in the Black Forest? Or?
No, in the cemetery, like parallel to it.
Okay, so but were you stealing things from the Black Forest?
No, I was
or
stealing people. I was killing people and eating them.
neighboring the Black
Or
Forest.
drinking their blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just nature.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the thief of the Black Forest. Are you stealing from the Black Forest, or do you live in the Black Forest? I just wanted to
No,
clarify.
I am the thief of the Black Forest, what they call me. I stumbled on my words before, but that's what I am.
He's asking if your lair is also located.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
peripheral, but it's close.
Like, do you prowl into the
I don't live
towns?
there anymore. I moved here. I don't even remember Russian at all.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing. That being said, I hope the acoustics are all right for everyone. And I will say that we're not being paid responsible, kind of, but not really. You're going to hear me and the crew smoking a lot of grass. That's what we do around here. And we could have got a different recording space, but here we can do whatever we want. And that was a big one. So basically, I think, and I hope, every show is going to start out with me lighting up a fresh Candyman joint. And then you'll often hear the click and clank of ice-cold Diet Pepsi going down
We
my
get
gullet.
crazy with Diet Pepsi.
And man, do I endorse both cannabis and Diet Pepsi, although cannabis is probably much healthier for you. I think Diet Pepsi is going to be what takes me out of the game permanently.
That's not right.
Permanently someday. So
But you love it, so.
they got me hooked.
I want another disclaimer, too. Like, we're going to talk about science a lot, but Chris and I and Sean, none of us have a science degree.
Right.
I don't have any formal training whatsoever. That's why I said, like, from my costume perspective, I can give that kind of insight to Bigfoot and some other things, like spot hoaxes and things like that. But at the same time, these days, you can fool anyone, anything. I mean, they fool everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of things that are being spoken about and talked about and believed right now in the world, and we're not going to talk about what those things are.
Oh, flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Well,
Talking about fake-
flat
I can
Earth.
talking-
pass that in 2 seconds.
We're talking fake news. Or
Well,
we're
all the
talking crazy?
fake political news, and then all the theories that go behind that, and it's like we can bullshit our way through some science.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
I
we're
really
going-
don't want to talk about QAnon or anything like that. Like,
No.
It doesn't interest me.
No,
I don't even know what that is.
stay that way, man.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm a hermit. I keep odd hours. I am nocturnal. Daytime is not for me. I do enjoy the summer and a nice swim and a bathe in the sun, but
I can't go in the sun.
yeah. So I'm not and I don't watch the news, okay? Because I don't, I'm not there. I'm not watching it. I think it's super biased. It's mostly negative, right? I think it's an insane way to spend your night, okay?
It makes it seem like it's common. all this
And
negative
so
shit.
Right.
I've never seen
Nothing-
violence, not any recently.
Nothing good happening,
and like so we'll talk about that, but
but there is.
I don't
But there
have
is.
anything I Google on my phone is like Battlestar Galactica or video game related or something about marijuana or science. They discovered a new pulsar, quasar in the middle of this galaxy with this new telescope, and it's this new, it's this new shiny thing we don't even know about yet. We're going to start making theories on it. But bottom line is, when I wake up in the morning and I get my feed, right, when I access my phone for the first time, it tells me things about stuff like that. Like, hey, do you want to learn how to make your own maple syrup from scratch? I'm like, yeah, I do. Or, hey, you want to build an AK-47 in your basement? Sure, let's do it.
Oh, I have plans to build all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and you're a builder too. But what I'm
I built
saying
a hull
is
for a hovercraft.
I'm a hermit. Okay, I get zero exposure to the news except from what I hear from other people. So just point in case. Okay, the other day, and I don't want to talk about it.
I can tell you anything.
You could. I'd look it up. But point in case, I met my cousin at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and he walks in and he goes shaking his head sideways, and he's like, "Wow, man, crazy day. What the fuck's going on out there? And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, the people, they stormed the Capitol building. And I'm like, the Pentagon? And he says, no, man, the Capitol building where the senators and everyone, all these other people are. I'm like, aren't they in the Pentagon? he's like, no, retard. They're in the this building, Capitol building. And the Pentagon's mostly security and army type military.
Generals.
Yeah, generals. It's like the main NORAD basically. And anyway, I had no idea that happened. It was 7 p.m. at night, and as far as I was concerned, the world was just spinning as usual. You know what I mean? I was going about my life, and I had to look it up and see how insane it really was. And I'm thinking, and so to get back to your to your point, Sean. Yes, you are a counterweight or a what did you describe? Balance beam?
Yeah, the balance
beam. Yeah, you are the balance beam, but I would like to say that news and current events, man, I was watching this and it seemed to be real because I was watching it happen. Right. But as I was watching it, I was like, this may not be a real thing.
Fake news.
Yeah.
So the news itself.
Fake news.
Yeah, no, that wasn't fake. I think it happened, but I didn't see it. I wasn't there. I have no idea.
It happened, but this conspiracy is already over.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't...
And it's wrong. So.
No, yeah.
So
it's exactly what happened.
I have no idea what's going on in current events and apparently how the government actually even functions, where they do it. So you're here to help.
Yeah, I can help, but
straighten that out for me. Dan, I resent you saying I'm not a real scientist because I want to know what the qualifications are. I went to college partially for engineering. I didn't finish my degree in engineering.
I'm saying if you had to get a job as a researcher for a company, you're going to be like, they're going to be like, "Where's your master's in biology?"
That's true.
And you don't have it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're not a junior scientist.
We don't
on your own.
We don't have it on paper, but I feel like I have the qualifications, the aptitude, and the real life application that I do. I do a lot of scientific things.
I think a lot of them though they're like whizzes on research like methods.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Like they don't just sit there and ponder shit. They go at it in a certain way. Like I don't know. I just think it's
I have published work.
Okay, well
maybe not a paper.
Chris is a published scientist.
Maybe not a maybe not a paper, but I mean,
that might not be a real thing.
Fine.
Okay, well, I think you're definitely I think I'm a science enthusiast more than anything.
I'll tell you what. When I wake up in the morning, I get science things in my feed.
Okay.
I certainly don't get anything on a Yeti, but that's fine because that is technically part of science. So
technically,
wrapping that up, how I want to kick off the podcast, the show, and everything. We've talked about it before. Is the pay it forward? Okay, and so whoever hasn't seen the movie from the '90s, it's a Haley Joel Osment movie, also starring Helen Hunt. I believe.
Kevin Spacey. I think so.
He's the male lead in that. I know technically the kid's the male lead, but he's the kid, so I'm talking like men.
I think Kevin Spacey is the guy.
Pay It Forward's a movie, but it's really the movement in the movie is what I'm interested in. So I think we need to really start.
Not the ending.
Not the ending.
The middle part.
The ends justify the means, Dan. Or other way.
Sacrifice to help people in better society.
Something. Well, all I know about society right now is that there's a shit ton of negativity out there. So that's why we're on the air, is to spread some positivity. And so I want to kick that off with challenging everybody to pay it forward, which if you watch the film, you got to go out and you got to do 3 random... It's not like random acts of kindness. It has to be more than that. You got to kind of go out of your way a little bit to help someone, and it should be someone that you wouldn't normally maybe help, but it could be just someone in front of you that needs something and you're like, I'm going to help you right now. Normally maybe you wouldn't, but the point is you got to go out and help 3 people somehow. Give them money, give them advice, whatever they need, whatever the situation dictates, but you got to help them, okay? And then you got to tell those 3 people that they have to in turn go out and pay it forward and help 3 other people. And then basically it spreads exponentially throughout society. You've got all these people out there helping other people. Maybe just let somebody go in front of you in traffic. How about that? Instead of trying to honk your horn and cut the other dude off. I try to let everyone go in front of me in traffic. Little shit like that. But I would prefer bigger acts of kindness for pay it forward. But I'm challenging everyone to pay it forward. And now I will hand it over to Danny D to throw his slings and arrows at me and open fire, my man.
The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Yeah, so I think, I don't know, something about helping people is lame to me.
I bought a girl a pair of work boots who's trying to start her own company.
Oh.
And I have a bag of socks that I'm going to give to the homeless guy.
I bought myself a new vape and a book, a Stephen King book yesterday, and my wife dinner. So I don't know. I think I have 4 kids and I have issues of my own health wise, and I don't know. Maybe I'm selfish, but I think if we all help each other or help our family, that everybody takes care of their own, it's fine. I mean, if some old guy croaks in the street like, I'm having a heart attack, I'm going to help him and call the ambulance to stay with him. But I'm not going to go out of my way. I mean, I'm a generally courteous person. I think that helps. Like, I don't have any, like, things like that to fix about myself. So, like I said, I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of lame. Chris likes it. That's it.
So wait.
You can rebut now.
You wouldn't harvest the dead man for his spare heart pieces and try to see if you could get some tissue?
If it was
some healthy
beneficial
tissue?
to me, I would.
That's
Yeah,
probably a bum ticker if the
if
guy
I
went
ever-
down from a heart
If I
attack.
ever have to get a heart transplant, I'm not getting an old man's. I'm getting some, like, 18-year-old drug addict who, like, didn't abuse his heart, but he just, like, was new to drugs, and he had an OD.
I know.
That's the best heart to get. And they're common now, too.
Yeah, the bet your ass they are.
Yeah, wicked common.
I know that the money is going to be huge on this at first, but the technology is there right now, technically, right, to either clone a heart or 3D print a heart. Is that true?
I think either one's going to happen. I think I see a cardiologist and, like, electrophysiologist, and their understanding of hearts is, like, unbelievable right now.
Where are
you know,
we,
where every electrical impulse goes and every current, everything.
Where are we on an artificial heart in current technology?
I think we're pretty far away, but I mean, they can pull your heart out of your body while they're pumping your blood on other means, and then put a new one in that just came out of some dead body. Yeah,
Right.
that's crazy.
So interestingly enough, that's something I left out of my intro was that, you know, a lot of podcasts today, they're really focused on interviews. You know what I mean? Where we can just kind of talk about topics, but I do want to do some interviews. And the people that I want to interview are, like, not necessarily famous people, because that's cool. They're famous. They've done something to achieve notoriety, whatever. But I want to interview people that are like regular people we know that just have, like, insane jobs, right? So one of my buddies is a homicide detective in a city that we're not allowed to disclose.
That's cool.
He had previously declined the offer to do the podcast, but then has since reached out and asked if he can be on as long as we keep it private. So we may get a homicide detective from a major city in the country here who, I mean, you think about it, this dude all day long, that's what he does is try to figure out. He's a total badass, but he tries to figure out how to figure out who murdered somebody and try to catch that person, right? And he has to deal with all the components of that. And so I've talked to him about it, and it's totally insane. My cousin was a fighter pilot in the Navy for, like, a career fighter pilot. So he did, like, a 20-year stinaroo.
I wonder if you ever heard of anybody seeing UFOs.
Lighter? Just say.
I'm going to ask
a
him
lighter,
that.
baby. There it goes. Yeah. Oh, dude. What are you shitting me? The first thing, like, I don't.
That's the first thing I'm going to
That's
ask
got to
him.
be the
I'm
first
going to ask
thing.
him about, you know,
Sit down.
hey, what was it like being a fighter pilot? Blah blah blah. But the first fucking thing I care about is, dude, did you ever see any UFOs?
What did you hear?
What are the UFO? Yeah, what'd you hear in
What
the
do you
locker
know?
room? What'd you hear in the, you know, what's the scuttlebutt?
Blink twice if you can't say anything.
Exactly.
What's the scuttlebutt?
Reach your, you know, where they play footsie under the table, where they put your foot in your crotch. Put your
it.
foot in my crotch if I'm on the right track.
Put your finger in my ass if we're on the right track.
Yeah, no, he's married to my cousin, so he's a cousin through marriage. Great fucking dude. But your heart attack thing, I know all about the open heart transplants because my buddy is an ER nurse, and he's going to definitely be on the show. And he's talking to me many times about doing open heart transplants. He's like, he's held people's hearts in his hand,
Really?
and massaged them while they were like, so. You know, they have a lot of computers and equipment, and I don't have to tell you, you've got one built into you. But you know, in the ER and they rely on a lot of stuff. But when he was doing his residency, some of the doctors were like, "Hey, come here, you little pussy. we're going to do this the old-fashioned way with no equipment or whatever. So he's done a couple of procedures like so-and-so old school where if like he had to pull them off and the power was out or if they were in an emergency situation, could he do it to save somebody's life? And so like it's pretty nuts because like this is like an actual operation that's going on somebody, right? And the doctor that's overseeing it is saying, nope, we're not going to give this guy the best care that we would traditionally use because I'm going to train this. We're using it as an experiment to train this new dude on old school emergency methods, which could go wrong.
Yeah.
You know? But there's no other way to learn, right? I mean, what are you going to do?
You know what I want to do?
But he's going to be on the show.
If I ever get a heart transplant, which is possible with my disease, like someday.
Yeah, what's up?
I want to I don't know if they'd let me, but I want to keep my old heart in a jar with formaldehyde.
Yeah, you have
That'd be badass.
You have to.
Like,
look at it every day.
That's my heart. It was beating for 42 years, and look at it now.
People think it's weird, but when Ragnar, my majestic, and I think that is the right word, bull mastiff, when he dies, I either want to have him taxidermed, or that may be too emotional.
Clone him.
No, he's too much.
You'd have another one.
There's only one Ragnar, but I am trying to breed him, and if we do that, and I get a son, he's going to be Ragnar's son. But anyway,
well, what about Ragnar's son in the show? What's his name?
Björn.
Yeah,
he has several sons.
Yeah, he has
Uba.
Yep.
Vitzig. Ivar the Boneless.
Ivar the Boneless.
There's Sigurd, Snake in the Eye. Fitzig. Björn, Uba, and Ivar the Boneless.
Yeah.
Those are the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Vikings.
They think he was a real person in history, too.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. He was a real person.
You know, I look for arrowheads a lot around the United States because they're everywhere. Native Americans deposited so many arrowheads that 1 million are found a year.
Yeah, dude, what?
Ancient arrowheads.
How the fuck are there so many arrowheads
buried?
Because
they were here for 13,000 years. And
it says something about our society. That's all that's left over.
Yeah, they just dropped spears everywhere.
Weapons.
That's, well, there were like millions of Native Americans when they came over.
Tools.
Before they wiped them out. So like they were very populated in the area. They had farms and family plots where they'd still travel and stuff and live nomadically in some ways, but they had their own plots where they'd share and but they had family plots and territories. So they weren't like people say, but anyways, in Europe, like in Scandinavian countries, Viking pendants and stuff are still abundant.
Tons of shit's buried.
You can find like a metal like a silver or whatever Thor's hammer pendant because they sold them at fairs even back then in the 700s. So they are just abundant. So I kind of want one.
Well, they also buried a lot of their if you wanted to go to Valhalla and please the gods or whatever, you buried a quarter of your treasure in the ground.
Right.
And gave it to the gods.
Valhalla's badass. How'd they ever not adopt that? I don't know.
My online persona or my true self in terms of some people's opinions. In other words, my online handle, my game, is See You in Valhalla. And people call me Valhalla. That's my name. So I respond directly to Valhalla. If you say Val or Valhalla, I would be like, what's up? Because every day, people call me that as my name.
You go berserker once in a while, too.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so just to come back to it.
What do you got, baby?
Candyman issued a call to action.
Call to arms.
Well,
it's action.
Yeah.
There's actually no arms involved.
Dandy claimed it to be a lame call to action, and that's okay. But
I don't think Chris is lame.
No, that's a good point.
At all.
It's probably why you're co-host of our show.
Yeah.
So we probably like each other enough to.
I like him a lot.
But let Mac.
I'm very fond.
Let Mac get out what he's trying to go with.
So is this a something that we want to make public? Your call to action, the pay it forward, the Candyman's pay it forward call to action, and then how do we record if people are doing it?
You're asking how do we metrically track this movement?
Somewhat. It has to be. It's probably a lot of self response.
You get a sticker.
When that movie came out, if memory serves, it was 2000 or something.
Maybe even earlier.
So the internet was there. We had You've Got Mail, We had chat rooms. We had stuff, but it wasn't like today. So, things
2000, the year 2000.
Things spread differently.
It wasn't so connected to, like, everything in our lives.
So, like, things didn't go viral like they do today, right? So I think today a pay it forward movement would catch fire a lot faster than in the movie where, like, it ended up being on the local news and then bigger, it spreads eventually, right? It's like
I think the most repeatable pay it forward is when you pay for someone's coffee at Dinks.
Oh, don't even get me started. You know why I hate that? I'll tell you why I hate that. Because I go to get my coffee and it's like $2.25, and they say, "Oh, the person in front of you paid for your coffee. Would you like to pay for the people behind you?" I'm like, "Yeah." How much is their coffee behind me? They're like, $17.
They ask you that though?
Yeah, they go, "It's $17."
They put you on the spot?
Yes, I go, "Okay, here's $2.25
towards their 17.
towards your tip. I'm not paying anything behind me.
Yeah,
like, you can keep this as a tip. I can pay for my own coffee."
What if?
So I just think that this thing, humans are incapable of paying it forward.
Well,
what if?
That's all I think.
What if
they're selfish?
What if you were the last one before the record-breaking pay it forward?
I would do it.
Okay.
I'm not that cynical.
You're not a monster.
I'm not a monster. I would do it, but
you used to be a monster.
You dress demonically.
Yeah, no, I've since
got a lot of skulls
Yeah.
tattoo. You have the pentagram tattoo.
I have a pentagram tattoo. My mother goes,
immediately.
"Is that demonic?"
Immediately, my mother would not let you in the house if she knew you had that. Honest to goodness, I don't
Really?
think if she saw that and knew what it was. So the scary part about her devotion to Catholicism
She
is
believes in demonic.
yeah, she does, but doesn't know anything about them. So, like, she might look at that and have a vague idea of, like, that's a pentagram.
Honestly, though, this symbol right here is called the Devil's Trap. It's actually negative against demons.
Right, it's supposed to be
like a ward.
Like a ward, right?
Yeah.
Or like a...
But she wouldn't know that. She'd just see it and be
But
like,
if she saw...
"Demons!"
Yeah, that would be witchcraft or something that wasn't Catholic, and she would not let you in the house. But you've got the skull rings, and you've got the...
One of my skull rings is carved out of
pentagram
human
necklace. There was the fangs incident, which we talked about.
Yeah,
where
there was.
You had the fangs in your pocket.
I like dark imagery.
Yeah, no, you're Gothic. Before it was called Gothic, I think you were. Did you go goth? Remember when we were in high school?
I didn't really have the balls. Like,
I loved it.
I didn't really have the balls. I would have if I always wanted to.
Goth.
It wasn't until my heart.
Is this a newer?
Well, my heart stuff happened like 4 years ago, so it
So you
it
died.
slowly, I was already growing my hair out, and slowly started happening. I was like, "Oh, I like that shirt. Oh, I like those boots."
You had several near-death experiences.
Yeah. So now I just don't care
in a
what-
rapid succession.
Yeah. So now I don't care what I'm gonna do. What I want to do. Basically, I don't care. Nobody really seems to have a problem with it. Like, the weirder I get with it, like, more serious I get about it,
More natural.
nobody seems to have one problem with it. So, like, all my fear before of it, like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's one thing that Danny D and I do share in common is that I'm constantly thinking about death, and I'm like hyper aware that like my life is finite, and so like I couldn't put a number on the amount of times a day I like contemplate the fact that like someday this is just going to disintegrate into nothing, and that
everything will wash away.
Potentially, my consciousness is gone, and I do. I have several. We can get into life and death in a whole episode one day.
We should.
Yeah, damn right. I have several theories on like what happens when you die, but one of my highest probable theories, like I'd say like a 30% chance, is that it's just like, boo, the lights go out like a TV, and that's it. It's over. It doesn't mean that the light doesn't go back on in another form later. I'm just saying that this light goes out. But anyway,
yeah,
I think about death all the time, and I think about not only that, but like the real chunk of your life that you're alive and at your prime is like, precious, right? So like I get up every day and I just basically say like in a semi-responsible way, like, fuck it, just do whatever you want to do, because like today could be the last day, or if it's not today, it's going to be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be in 10 years. Whatever it's going to be, you're going to die. So like, is he out cold right now?
I'm just thinking.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm just checking. I'm checking you for a pulse, baby.
I'm fine.
I thought you went
My
out.
eyes weren't even closed. I was just looking down at this wood grain. I'm listening to you.
Ipso facto, I don't know on that one, but
I'm not out.
He was awake.
Just
he was
checking.
I'm completely awake.
I'm just checking.
I'm wide
looking
awake.
down.
He's looking down.
He was
You
looking
seem
down.
to be conscious, but for a second there, I thought you were out. Oh, there you go again. You're out.
I'm not out.
He's
I'm
out.
looking down. Go ahead.
But anyway, I just live with that sense that like, fuck it, life's short. You only get this one time around. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't agree to the rules, and so I'm just going to do whatever I want within reason. Basically, to put a Star Trek.
Sorry.
Forgive me for thinking you were passed out.
Go ahead.
Like it's not the first time it's happened. All right.
Keep going.
You passed out. I try to live my. This is a Star Trek thing, so you don't 100% know about it yet. But I live my life somewhere between the polar opposite philosophies of live long and prosper, which is like the Vulcans.
I know what you're gonna say.
They want you to live a long time and a maximum utility out of your life while you're here, right? Live your best life, essentially, right? But then the Klingons, they say today's a good day to die. That just basically means like I'm ready for it. Let's go.
They want to go to Stovall.
They want to go to Stovall Core. Kapla. Let's do this, right? So it's not that I want to die today or tomorrow or anything. I just like I'm not afraid of it when it happens because like I live my life in a fashion that I don't regret things. I do what I want to do and I do what I like. That's what I'm trying to say. So I do have a Star Trek question though. I'm jealous of this. I don't know how jealous you are, but Macca is watching kind of for the sake of us. You're watching Star Trek The Next Generation.
I'm really jealous.
And Star Trek in general for the first time right now. And so you're on season 1
Yep.
still.
Oh, you should have blown through it. You're not getting very serious about it.
I think...
I haven't.
Well, he's busy. He just got a new gig, and he's living with a girl who massages him 4 hours a night. Who knows what they're up to?
True.
Something's going on.
Oh, something's going on.
No.
She is a professional masseuse, point of fact. And before she was working, she had to get a certain amount of practice hours in.
During
and it was COVID.
Shutdown,
so they were locked in the apartment together with nothing to do but give Sean strong massages.
That's amazing. Although I don't even like anybody touching me like that.
So my question is, Dan, I don't know what season it is. I want to go with 3 or 4, but Captain Picard has an artificial heart. You don't know that yet, Sean.
Okay.
But are our hearts today, our artificial hearts, are they in tune with like Captain Picard's? Are they like, do you think they could keep a human alive forever?
I don't know. I think they will eventually. I mean, my pacemaker.
How many people have them?
My pacemaker is responsible for my heartbeat. My pacemaker. And then my defibrillators are just for backup. But
you told
yeah,
me.
So that's basically like an artificial heart that's already on top of my real heart doing shit. It's in my chest.
Didn't you tell me that your regular heart, your just biological heart took over on its own for the first time in a while, though?
Well, the pacemaker got turned off as a test, and usually I go, oh, turn it back on. But this time I'm doing so well that my conduction took over my own heart.
What is it?
Electrical conduction.
What does it even feel like when you have a heart attack? Or when your heart stops working properly? Is it a pain in your chest, like inside?
No.
Describe it.
I was leaning over the counter looking at my phone, and I looked up, and sometimes I get like a dizzy sensation from my blood pressure dropping. But I looked up, and then the world just came tunneling in on me, like closing in from all angles.
Like you blacked out?
Yeah, I blacked out, and like I can just feel something weird happening in my chest because my heart's beating over 350 times a minute. Or second, I mean.
That's too fast.
Yeah.
A minute. 350 a minute. So anyways, I go to all floor. I have time to go down to the floor and get on all fours so that I'm not falling down and cracking my skull open.
Fair enough.
But then basically I black out, and then a shock feels like a horse kicks me in the chest and brings me back to life.
No, I've been shocked.
No, this is a different kind of shock. It's directly it's an electrode in your heart.
Yeah,
it goes,
I've not experienced that, but I have experienced.
So anyways,
shock.
it hurts, doesn't feel good. Sometimes you don't feel it for some reason, and other times I do feel it. I don't know.
I don't want to die
of
of a heart attack. That's not how I want to go.
No, it sucks.
There are way worse ways to go, but I'm pretty sure I die in some sort of accident or combat or something.
A heart attack is basically your arteries...
or cancer.
Your arteries getting clogged in your heart, and then you have what's called ventricular fibrillation, which is your heart kind of wriggles and gets all weird and then stops, which is what happens. One of the types of ways my heart stops is basically the same way a heart attack stops your heart. except mine's just from scar tissue and weird electrical shit.
Wild.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So what other topics are we going to cover on the show coming up? I know we did a UFO recording already that we're going to put out with some other UFOs.
Right. So I think
Hip hop. You want to do hip hop?
maybe I think
Music in general.
yeah, I think what we talked about too is not really following too much of a standard format, where we were like, all right, we have a UFO
Extraterrestrials
coming
UFOs.
out, but that might be part of a series,
And we don't have to cover everything that
and
episode.
it may come.
I mean,
know,
you could have an entire podcast dedicated
Yeah.
to it, so it'll definitely be more than one podcast.
We'll have like 3 for that. So it may come down to like 3 UFO, a series of UFO alien.
We don't have to put a limiting number on
Right,
the UFO one.
right. It could be,
But it is a topic.
We want to do some interviews. We want to talk to some people that are doing some interesting jobs, have interesting
I have
stories.
some interesting interviews.
Right.
What do you got?
Well, I got my friend Jesse Crockett, who's a lead singer of a band called Sixth Gear, and they're like a metal band, and they dress up like fucking crazy, like vampires and like crazy ghouls, and they take pictures in front of cemeteries and stuff, and like they just released a single, and they're coming out with an EP soon. So they're like badass. They're a badass band. So yeah, we can definitely have something like them on, or like other artists I know, tattoo artists I know. Just in general, I have a lot of friends into long hair that have really cool jobs and professions. Because I mean, people with long hair are always like kind of interesting. Not all of them, but some of them are. So,
Do you know this band that we're definitely going to talk about music?
by the way, we can plug in with the phone when we make calls.
Yes.
We could play music on that to connect to this whole system.
We could do that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying we can sample people's music or something and then have them on.
I'm big into
pretty
80s
cool.
music and the 80s in general. I think right now in society we're seeing like a huge 80s revival. With like all the basically pop culture from the 80s. That was Transformers. All the pop culture from the 80s is starting to be redone. They're doing a lot of the movies like Dune. They just redid Dune. That was a huge
There's so much
it was a
stuff.
huge failure in the 80s, but it's become like
It's called classic, though.
Doesn't look like it's a failure now. It's
well, the books, there were books that the guy wrote. It was, what do they call that? Graphic novel?
No, they were
was a straight-
they were books. They were
Yeah.
novels, science fiction novels.
might have been before the graphic novel.
I'm sure they did some doing graphic novels. Don't get me wrong.
So Dune was this comic or book. Is a series of books, I think,
Yeah,
or was it just a
series of
single?
books. No, there were more than one.
Was it like
but
two
there's
or
an
three?
original Dune that's like the original book.
Because there's all these backstories to the characters that you don't see in the movie. Because there's like, my understanding was like when they made the movie that they had like so much shit that they were trying to compress into it that they couldn't, and that's why some of it doesn't really make sense. So,
Yeah.
but now they're making a new Dune, and it's fucking Jason Momoa, and
He's a badass. He's a reason in my hair group
I don't
that
know
like a lot of
who-
guys want to grow their hair out.
yeah,
Everybody loves him.
I don't know who the kid is in Dune.
Timothy Chalamet or Chalamet.
I don't even know who he is.
So it's not just Dune.
Hot
You can
throw. He's an
name
upcoming
any,
hot throw.
name any. You could just come at me with anything right
It's
now.
not just Dune though. We grew up in the '80s, and a lot of these awesome movies we grew up with, they're all having sequels now.
Transformers.
Right.
Well, Cobra Kai.
Kai, sure.
We get to see a Karate Kid sequel where he goes back to Okinawa.
And it's fucking
like that's
good.
insane.
It's good.
Yeah,
Not a lot
it's
of.
great.
We're getting all the answers that we wanted.
Yeah, like I always wonder what happened to Daniel-san.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because they kind of went out like,
It's like, well, what happened to him?
in Karate Kid 3, they had their tree business and
yeah.
it went out of business, and then that's the last year of him. He beat this guy in the fight, but
Yeah.
other than that, him and Mr. Miyagi are broke.
Terry Silver.
yeah.
Terry Silver's going to be in the 4th season. Remember him? The guy with the ponytail.
Yeah, I thought he was. I'm watching the third season right now, and I haven't finished it. But
Oh, okay.
when they're showing the Crease flashbacks,
Yes.
I'm looking at some of his buddies, wondering which one is Terry Silver.
Yeah, because they made you seem like it was the guy with the ponytail.
Right,
But it wasn't.
right, yeah.
They totally tripped you up because then he gets shot in the head and you're like, oh,
Guess it's not that
it's
one.
not that one. It was,
I guess that ain't Terry
It was
Silver.
a skinny one because anybody can grow a ponytail at any time. It doesn't mean he had one in the military.
Did you finish season 3?
No.
Okay.
I haven't started.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know
Sorry,
the
I
name of
wasn't
the.
paying attention.
I don't know the name of the band, and I was looking it up. and I'll get back to you on it. It's Cybertron something. But there's a band out there right now that is like crazy. You know, like bronies with My Little Pony. They're like these men that love My Little Pony.
Yes.
Okay, so one of my...
We should talk about bronies, furries.
I'm shifting gears a lot here, but listen, it's all 80s related. So one of my buddies online, one of my online buddies, is very, very conservative, straight-laced fucking dude, okay? He lives in Wisconsin.
Right, love that.
Talking about you, Howlin. And that's his name, Howlin something, which I think is his real name. So we're just going to leave it out, but... He's a really, really straight-laced dude, right? Like, he's conservative. He's the motherfucker that gave me the quiz the other day on what my political stance is. Oh, we got to take that quiz. Can we take that? Not tonight, but can we take that quiz? So he gives me this quiz, and it's like tells you where... And I've taken... Girls have given me weird quizzes over the last few years, like kinky.
I bet you're libertarian,
like kinky. No? I was all over the place. Like kinky quizzes, like are you into this? Are you into that? And it's like the Myers-Briggs psychology test. They're asking you the same question different ways to see if you're lying. But it's all about sex and what you like, right? And I'm like, somebody actually put this together, and now this is like what girls are circulating out to see if you're compatible. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe it. But he gives me this political one the other day, and he's trying because he cares about that shit, right? And he knows I don't. And he's asking me like, what do I think? You know, there are all these questions like, do you think the government should be bigger or smaller? Blah blah blah. And anyway, turns out this dude has a brother who's a fucking brony, and it's a real thing. And me and my buddies were shitting ourselves the other day, Dan, because he's like, he's. We were talking about it. I don't know how it got brought up. He's like, I have a brother. It's a brownie. And he was like super embarrassed about it. And they're like, he's like, his whole family is like embarrassed about it. Like they don't want him out. And so I don't know his real name, the brony, but
let's get him on.
I could probably line it up.
It'd be something we'd want to look into.
We're less than 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon from that brony right now because I'm friends with his fucking brother online. All I got to do is message him and be like, hey, I want to interview your brother. Who?
Can we totally do that?
Yeah, and I'm getting to this. Do you want to know what he goes by?
What?
Sus Dragon. SUSS. I don't even know what that means.
Suspect.
Sus Dragon.
So sus is like, you're sus. My kids say it.
Okay, so he's Sus Dragon.
Yeah, like can't be trusted, or
I don't know, but that's his identity that he goes by, and he like changes like
sketchy,
like
sus.
So yeah, but there's a band that loves the original Transformers movie and the original Transformer cartoon from the 80s. I think they're called like the Cybertron Spree or Cybertron 6 or something.
Badass.
But they dress up in, dude, you would appreciate it. I think I've sent you the clip before, but they dress up in homemade costumes of the Transformers. They've got like...
That's how they perform?
Yes.
Wow.
And they're a rock,
Badass.
and they're an 80s rock band, but they're like, they're current. You know what
young.
I mean? Yeah. And they're probably like...
I bet they play the Transformers theme.
dude, I'm going to look it up and I'm trying to find their name because I think it's important. That's why the Transformers noise went off earlier. But,
well, while you're looking that up, I think we all agree that we want to talk about some serious stuff, have some conversations with people, but we also want to have a silly goose time, right? I mean, we just want to goof off. We want to come here. We want to laugh. We want to make people laugh. We want to talk about weird shit. And you want to hear me say, I don't know if that's a real thing. We want to do that. And, I think we're headed there right now. So,
yeah, I don't know if it's a defense mechanism, but when some serious shit comes up, like pay it forward, I kind of get like weird, like a turtle, like
Is that why you went catatonic when I was talking earlier?
Yeah, I was just doing a
you
little
looked
trance.
you looked like when they turn a shark upside down, and
I was staring at the same spot in this table. That's all I was doing.
What's the matter with you? What do you think it is? Is that why?
I think I have.
It's the same thing why you can't work in an office.
I think I have sensory issues.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you need constant stimulation.
Well, I see videos of myself, and like my hands move weird, my eyes twitch weird. I didn't even know that until That's all.
All right. Well,
it's kind of weird.
I'm going to forward this to you. This is the Cybertronic Spree.
We should play it on here.
And they're actually... I'll play it.
Very quick. Don't play a lot. Get flagged.
It's true.
You're saying... What are the
10 seconds.
What are the repercussions?
Yeah.
you're saying we'll get
We
flagged.
get flagged on like YouTube, but
using
we're not on
their
YouTube
audio.
yet. So
I'm of the mind that these people will probably be happy that anyone's putting their music on.
Yeah.
But these guys
It's
are
like-
dressed up in Transformers costumes. Looks like they're playing
you should plug it in.
a shortly... a pretty short... is it? I don't know if we have it.
Oh, I have it right here.
I don't know if we need to plug it in. We'll try
Why?
it.
I think you can.
These people are dressed up in... I want you to look at it because you literally make costumes. And you, you know...
Wait, how's this plug in right here?
Yeah,
Where's this
just
plug in?
the top.
Oh,
That's
okay, right here. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, there you go.
Am I right?
Let's see.
Or am I right? Or am I right? Or am I right?
I can't hear it on the thing. So.
Right.
Wait, do you have to turn the thing on? Yeah, you do.
It's not going on. I don't think we're going to be able to do that.
Oh, that's too bad.
It is too bad.
That would have been a nice little feature.
Just play it. They dress up like Transformers. Look at those costumes.
Oh, and they sing like regular songs.
They're doing the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Look at the drummer.
You love it, don't you?
Yes, I love that. They did a good job, too.
Let me see that.
No, there's a lot of cosplay these days, and they're doing some beautiful cosplay.
They're pretty hardcore.
Awesome.
They're not fucking around. They like Transformers.
They
When I was
love
into-
Transformers.
When I was into making costumes, it wasn't big like it is now. Now it's like a huge deal.
I want to give them a shout out so they don't sue us.
Cosplay.
That's
People
the
are into that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you better
huge.
believe it. You better believe it.
I love seeing chicks into that.
The Cybertronics.
Sailor Moon outfits.
The Cybertronic Spree. That's the name of that band. So we can give them a shout out. And then, yeah, let's get you a Sailor Moon outfit. That's
My wife would like that.
I know
She's a
she
big
would.
Sailor Moon fan. She has Sailor Moon tattoos and like rings and
hardcore.
hardcore shirts, and she's just like colorful like that.
Hardcore.
And I look like Count Chocula. It's a nice contrast, though.
Except that you have pale skin.
I can't go in the sun. I burn. My skin sizzles instantly.
It's crazy because you're Mediterranean descent.
I can't. It's my medications.
Ah,
And because I'm a vampire.
gotcha.
Even
does.
if you put on high,
Doesn't matter.
protection.
I load it on. Doesn't matter. I have to use a black umbrella at the beach. People think I'm fucking the crypt keeper. Kids, I scared a whole family last year because they saw like an upside down pentagram on my shirt and like it was like this nice family.
I have
and they
a lot
just
of,
scurried their kids away like stay away from that guy.
I have a lot of ink, but I suspect now that you've started to get
Yeah.
sleeves and stuff, you're going to go all the way with it over the over the next 5
I'm
years.
getting ink. I have an appointment every 2 months. I
Macca,
have
you
an
got
appointment.
no tattoos?
No ink.
Oh, you
Really?
gotta get one.
You've
We should
got
get one for
great-
the podcast.
No ink.
You've got great Irish skin for it, lad.
Perfect.
The thing is, Sean, how can you not have a tattoo when you got skin like that?
You're not missing
would
out on the
be-
pain though. It hurts really bad.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. It hurts.
Did you like the Irish?
I did. You did all right.
I did all right.
A real Irishman wouldn't
And
probably
you-
appreciate it.
I'm a
whatsoever.
leprechaun, me dear.
No, I can do Irish. There's lots of different Irish, though, you know.
I
Yeah.
think real Irish people from Ireland would not think you were that good.
No.
Oh, yeah?
Here, you did,
Really?
you did I.
Really?
Or leaf clover.
Well, that's hilarious
Freshly
because
plucked.
I want to let you know that I was in Thailand last time, and there was a man in the pool who is from not Dublin, but one of those other Irish cities, Limerick.
Okay.
Okay,
Glasgow,
and
not Scotland.
This cat was a private military contractor. His name was Darcy.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so you got to be big, strong, and tough to have
Fucking IRA.
to have a name like Darcy. But I did a couple Irish accents for him. He said that they were the best American Irish
yeah.
accents he'd ever heard. I'm serious.
At
think
the
he
5
was-
scorpion balls.
I think he was having a bit of crock.
You think he was taking a piss on me?
He's probably from Idaho
He's
anyway.
having some crack on.
No,
Messing with
dude.
you.
No, dude. Thailand's like the international hub for like everyone in the world to go party because Europe and Asia and everyone, they love it. So,
I would love to get tattooed there.
oh, dude, I would love you too. That's where I get all my tattoos. But anyway, listen, we hope you like the show, guys. We're going to hit you with a couple more episodes coming up. We'll try to keep Dan awake. And
I was completely awake. So don't listen to him.
until next time, guys, question everything.
Yeah, and pay it forward.
Pay forward.